Good evening, everybody. How are you all? Hope you're all well, and I hope you can all hear me and see me okay as well. Hello, Gemma. Hello, Trisha. Hello, Sue. Hello, Kim. If someone could just confirm they can see me, you can hear me okay, that would be fab. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Francis. So tonight we are going to be doing a different kind of lariat to what we did a couple of weeks ago. If you did miss that one and you'd like to catch up with it, it is actually on YouTube now, and that was using needle and thread. Can see me and hear me, brilliant. I might be doubling up here. Hello, Carol. And hello, other Carol. We've got two Carols in the house today. Right. Where are we? Where are we? Just placing all of my bits and pieces on the screen so I can see your comments and see that I'm in the right direction with the camera. Hello, Maxine. So this is what we're going to do tonight. And most of you, I think, have already seen the crimping chain before. And we've got these little sew-on beads that we used for the rings with the beadwork. So that's what we're going to do. The idea with this is it slips over the head, and you've got this little slider clasp here. It doesn't necessarily serve much of a function other than to slightly adjust the length and also to keep it really neatly together. I'm not going to lie, I have been looking for these for a long time and I could never find them, and I ordered a number of them because sometimes it's difficult to gauge what thickness you actually need for what, which is why when they're up in the group thread I've given you examples of what each one goes with, like chain, for example, different chain. The other thing, if we get time, is to do some matching earrings as well. So let's go on the overhead, and I'm just going to put my extra light on. Hopefully that's not going to weigh my camera down too much. Now, I should have gotten a tape measure, but instead I have a ruler, so that'll be okay for now. So what I'm actually going to do is a bit of a cheats way. And I'm actually going to measure how long I actually want this and cut it. The other way you could do it is obviously to measure it and measure around your neck and see what works for you. So that's our crimping chain, which is absolutely gorgeous to work with. I've also got gold as well. Hello, Deb. So you're going to need some crimp beads, which I think most of you have worked with before. And the beads I'm going to work with tonight are the blue sew-on beads, like the sapphire blue. And then I have got some of the crystal rondelles as well. If you're on the Facebook group, this is sort of for reference afterwards, then you know you can get all of these in there. You've got the slider in there as well, which has got like the little rubber innards. And what other ones? We are going to be working with the, let's move this along a little bit. We're going to be working with the cobalt blue beads. And we are also going to be working with some of the blue crystal rondelles, because I thought, as I've already done one particular colour, I thought we'd mix it up a little bit. So we've got, that's what we're working with, and some of the little acrylic, metallized acrylic beads as well. Now what I thought with this particular design, if I take it off the bustier, can you see that for the big part of it, I've not bothered with putting anything, because that's actually going to be around the back of the head, and I just can't, personally, I can't see the point in wasting beads that people aren't actually going to see. Okay, now I'm going to follow the same pattern, and let me just measure. Just going to measure how many inches down. So I started, if you work from the middle of each side, 7.5 inches from the back middle, if that makes any sense at all. So we're going to grab both ends together and right, let's just adjust this so that you've got a better view. And we for now are going to be using our chain nose pliers, which mine are bent nose, but obviously chain nose pliers are the same equivalent. Let's start off with our crimp beads. So if you've never worked with crimp beads, they look like little beads, but when you squeeze them, they secure everything, secure in place. Let's pop a crimp bead on. They are, can't remember if I'm working with 1.5mm crimp beads. They're the standard size. That's one, a bigger one. Hello, Emma. So I'm going to start down here. I'm going to start at 7" this time, and then we're going to go to the other one and do the same the other side. Right, making sure, I'm just making sure the ends meet as well, or thereabouts. Okay, now the design I thought for this particular one, let's actually take my light off. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Now the design I'm going to work with for this one, obviously you do whatever works for you, but I'm going to have an acrylic bead. Let's push these all out of the way. And then I am going to have a crystal. Am I having a crystal? No, I'm not. I'm going to have a rondelle. I'm just going to keep it nice and simple. Crystal or rhinestone rondelle. And you do one of the cobalt beads. Love those cobalt beads, they're so lovely. So all of these are actually in the group thread. And another crystal rondelle. And I love the fact that all of these fit really nicely on the chain. There will be some things that won't fit on the chain, but unfortunately it is one of those things that you're going to have to do a little bit of trial and error. Now let's pop the other crimp bead on the other end. So that's the combination we've got. I like to try and get the crimp bead direction to match the other side, and then we'll thread on the same this side as well. But as before, do bounce some ideas, because you know, a lot of my ideas come out of our conversations, and I hope it comes is the same for yourself. For example, I think Emma mentioned about doing lariats with crimping chain, and she planted the seed, and that got my brain ticking and thinking, do you know what, there's got to be a way with the lariat And as it happens, I'd already ordered these slider beads, and I just thought, oh, I think those will work perfectly with that. I thought what we'd do for the next tutorial is look at how we can work these slider beads in with chain. That's in theory. I haven't made any yet. Get to crimp that. And it's deciding how far apart you want them. So on the other one, it was 1.5 inches from crimp bead to crimp bead. So that's what we're going to work on. You can obviously use a bead board if you want to. I am just finding it easier for demonstrating to you by using a ruler. Why is it that all words just disappear when you're going on a live? But we'd love to know, what are you all up to at the moment? What projects are you working on right now? Or is there anybody that's got a little bit of a craft block at the moment? Because it does happen to us all. Oh, right. Oh, my screen has gone. Bear with. Let's start again. I wonder if that's because I've got my light on there. Maybe not such a good idea then. Let's rest the light on the side, shall we? Sorry about that. I thought I had frozen. Deb is wrapping moons at the moment. Oh, that sounds beautiful. Any particular gemstones that you're working with at the moment, Deb? Sue is busy making loads of cards. Your cards are beautiful, Sue. And I think that's so nice, you know, for people to get handmade cards. There's so much thought and time that's gone into them. Now, Kim is just saying she had a block for a long time. And it happens to us all, doesn't it, Kim? And, you know, perhaps Kim might share any tips that she's got. You know, what, Kim, what did you find helped you? Did you find that just actually downing tools was the best way, or watching videos? I suppose it really depends on the person, doesn't it, as to what makes you tick. But sometimes there are times when you just need to down tools and wait until that sense of motivation and inspiration returns. So Kim is making flowers and knitting. How lovely. Are they separate things, Kim? So are the flowers knit, or are you making beadwork flowers and knitting? Which I think is probably the case from our conversations we've had as well. Nikki completed her first craft project this year, upcycled a water bottle for my friend's grandson. Oh, how lovely. Emma seen a chain type cage on one of the Facebook ads to enclose a gemstone. I think it was using bugle beads, seed beads and a slider bead on top to help enclose a gemstone. Yes, if you do see it, please send me a screenshot. Trisha is trying to teach herself tatting. She's got the technique but just needs to practice. I'll come back to some of your comments in just a second. So Deb's fave gemstone is Larimar. Just got some so no moons in Larimar. Larimar, is that blue Larimar? I can't remember. I thought you were doing beaded flowers and knitting. Oh, Prem and incubator blankets, how lovely. And Kim was just saying that she shut everything away, watched a few videos and tutorials. I think you've just sometimes got to wait, haven't you? But it's all returned now, hasn't it, Kim? All back and flowing now. So I'm just doing the same with this 1.5, popping a crimp bead on. So it's 1.5 inches from the previous end crimp bead. It is a blue. I thought Lariat was a blue. I think I'm going to run out of crystal rondelles in a moment. This is when you discover I really don't have my pyjamas on, although my trousers don't match at all what I'm wearing. But who cares? You don't see the bottom part. Well, you shouldn't anyway. That wasn't the intention. I'd love to know though, how many of you have a cut-off time where do any of you like get in from work and then you have to get your comfies on? Or is there a time at night where you think, I'm not to get my comfies on until this time? Mine varies, I'm not gonna lie, but I tend to wear like little dress type things that, just in case I get any unexpected guests, at least I can almost get away with it being a dress, if that makes any sense. Because there's that dread, isn't there, when you're all free and easy with all your clothes, that somebody's going to turn up. Deb used to put her PJs on as soon as she got back from work. Right, come on. Don't know why that keeps going off. How very bizarre. Main thing is we got it back. Kim's in her PJs now after she got in a bit earlier. Nikki's had a duvet day. Got caught out a few times. Yeah, I won't mention anymore, but that element of restriction and whoever, yeah, you know exactly what I mean, don't you? It's just, but the thought of someone coming to the door is like, oh my word. You just need a nice little top just to slip on. Not that I wouldn't be wearing a top, but what I actually mean is like a cardigan or something like that. God, that sounds awful, doesn't it? Right, dressing gown on by 8. Any expected visitors are used to it. Yes, that's very true. If they come at that time of night, then it's their own fault, isn't it? Right, okay. Now, I'm just comparing it to the length of the other one. Now, Sue should have hers on by now, but she's babysitting, so not early tonight. Yeah, a long cardie works wonders. It does. It hides a multitude of things that you really wouldn't want your visitors to see, isn't it? Sorry, I'm just doing a comparison. Right, so it's about there. Righty-ho. Now, I better tell you what length I've gone to here. The best way to do it, I'm not going to lie, is by popping it around you and checking where you want it to sit, okay? So with this one, if you look at the top screen where I am, that is where the beads are, and I'm going to pop the slider bead underneath that. So I actually like that, and I like the fact that that will slide over the head. Now if you want to actually know, oh gosh, what have I got stuck now? Kim, you've got a point there. If people come unannounced, that's their problem, isn't it? 12, 12. I've probably gone down. If you find the middle point at the back and down one side, it's about 12 and a half to the end bead. Let's move that out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Now with these crimping chains, they will slide in really nicely into that slider clasp. However, with some of the chains, I get a little bit of tiger tail, pop it through the chain and pull them through. Now this one goes on quite easily. It's not too tight, but then that's okay because you've got beads below it anyway. So that's how that slides. And then underneath it, I've got two groups of the crystals. Now bear with, because I've run out of crystal rondelles. I do know where they are, fortunately. Apologise in advance if you can see me. See, I haven't got pyjamas on, but they do look a bit pyjama-like, I'm not going to lie. Deb walks her dogs every morning in her PJs. Nothing wrong with that. And I'm sure your dogs don't mind, do they? Got a nice comfy coat on top. And then I am going to work about 1.5 inches from the last crimp bead again. Oh, where's that gone? Oh, there it is. Do the same the other side. I think the worst has to be when you get the postman and you're just literally coming out the shower or something and you just don't want to miss your parcel, but you also don't want to go downstairs either until you've got yourself in a suitable attire. So you can bet your bottom dollar they will leave your parcel outside when you don't want them to leave your parcel outside, and when you do want them to leave it, they won't. I do love this cobalt blue. I'm not sure the colours actually capture it that well on camera, so I will zone in a little bit so that you can actually see, because it's very sparkly. And I have to confess, I'm probably going to keep both of these Lariats because they're my kind of colour and I really like them, because I am not a great lover of clasped things, and I think, I don't know how you find, but as I'm getting older, my skin, I find, is a lot more sensitive to things. And maybe it's because I get so hot as well. It's just not always that nice unless it's a sterling silver or 9-carat gold clasp. But even then, I still find them irritating. Right, So just to recap, you've got a length of chain, plain at the back, started where you can actually see it. Isn't that lovely? And I've got 3 groups, 1, 2, 3, then the slider, and then another group, and then on the end I'm just going to make sure that they're pretty much the same length. I'm just going to trim them down a little bit. And on the bottom, I'm not going to bother with a crimp bead until I hit the bottom part. Oh, you have a Ring doorbell, does Kim, so you can talk to the postman. How good is that? Can you talk to the postman even when you're not in the house as well? I think you can, can't you? Nikki used to call down to the postie, but got most deliveries. Got most deliveries trained to deliver to one of my neighbours instead. Kim finds she gets clasps stuck in her hair. Well, we've both got quite long hair, haven't we, Kim? And yeah, do you find it winds around the back, doesn't it? If you've got like the snake chains, I find it winds around, and then I end up having a whole clump of hair stuck round it. So you're liking the colours. I'm pleased you like the colours. It is like a sapphire colour. Sue's going to make some for herself as well. Oh, you talk to him when that's really good. Kim talks to a postman when, well, not obviously just for a chat. Right, so I am going to now pop on. Again, this was just a little light bulb moment as I thought, oh, I wonder whether these sew-on things will work. I do hope this one will work now. I'm just going to go off camera a minute whilst I'm just sorting it out. Oh, it better work now. Right, let me try another one. Kim ends up having to cut the hair away from the clasp. I know, that's awful, isn't it? Why is that being so difficult? Well, it wasn't difficult when I did the sample piece. I am going to persevere. I think I'm possibly not even in the right place. Let's have a look. I've gone off camera because so you can't see me struggling away. I wonder if the back of the others are different. Excuse me, I'm talking to myself again. I'm not happy. These don't fit. Well, it doesn't appear to fit anyway. But do I have any of the slider beads on the thread? Right, Maxine, can you just clarify what you mean? Do you mean, do I have slider beads that you can fit onto thread? Because all of them fit onto thread. It's just really dependent on what size thread. And it is a bit of trial and error, really. Oh, right. Is that going to fit? Well, you don't want it to be this difficult, do you? Let's face it. So I'm kind of pleased that I discovered this beforehand. Oh, well, that one goes in okay-ish, but it's not coming out the other hole. So I'm going to go and grab some more. I don't understand why those others fit so well, but this doesn't. Or did you mean the chain, Maxine? I'm not quite sure what you meant. that's far too long. Bear with, bear with. I mean, you don't have to use those, but they just look so nice, didn't they? Right. No, sorry, do you have them for sale, the one you used to put both crimp and wire through? Yes, they're in the group thread already. They're already up there, so no problem. But just look for the ones with the pictures, because some of them are bigger than others. Oh, I'm so disappointed. I think it's just probably because I'm on camera. There you go. I knew they did fit, but it was just having a moment. I'm sorry about that. So the key is just a bit of patience. Now the question is, will I get the other one in? Right, let me show you. But they are so worth persevering. Isn't that just lush? Right, let's try the next one. I'm glad I wasn't on Create and Craft doing that. Not saying that it shouldn't have while I'm demonstrating to you, but I think you're a lot kinder. Or I should say you're all very kind. But you can't always guarantee when you're watching Create and Craft that all the customers are going to be quite as understanding. Right. I don't know what the secret is with it really. I didn't have this problem before, but if I show you, there's 4 little holes there. Yes, there we go. Sorry, that's really sad getting so excited, isn't it? But I didn't think it was meant to be that difficult, and they're no different to the others. Right, okay, let's just take stock, shall we? So these are the ends. Love that. I just think they make them look really quite a boutique-y type look. So that's the end tail, and then you've got the slider bit. You could just use a couple of beads if you want to, if you haven't got the slider clasp, or you could pop a larger crimp bead with both the chains. Okay, so that is the necklace, and I thought what we would do, how are we doing for time? We're doing fine for time. When we finish the tutorial, we'll have a look at how it looks on the bustier as well. But I thought, shall we do the earrings? These were the earrings that I did to match the peach. I put them on the stainless steel posts. I just thought they were really pretty. But, you know, you don't have to. Now, I'm just going to do one of the earrings. Oh no, I can do both. I found another bead. Okay, now I'm going to use 0.6mm wire. And how much have I cut? You're not going to need this much. I've got 4 inches. Now, if you're working with something like these earrings, before you secure the wire wrap loop, you will need to hook it in. But because we are working with just ordinary earring hooks this time, you can actually attach it to the earring hook itself afterwards. So for a wire wrap loop, go about 1/2 inch down from the end of the wire, wrap it round one side of your round nose pliers. The further down you go, the bigger the loop. And then I'm going to clamp the end with my pliers and just do a couple of wraps underneath. Just getting a bit closer. And then using the flat side of your pliers to trim and just ease that round so that there's no sharp bits and pieces. And I've just paused because I thought, am I doing that right? Well, we'll soon find out, won't we? And I think it probably would have been easy the other way round. Do you do non-tarnish wire? I think they're all tarnish wires, but I've got to be honest with you, they'll all tarnish at some point. And then we are going to pop this through. I wonder why the blue ones are just so much more difficult. Or is it just me? Could be just me, couldn't it? I think it could be, you know where the point of the bead is? I think it's just a little bit more difficult to get past that, but there we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do is bring that round the back of that bead and just take a wire wrap around that and straighten that up. Cut that off. Just tidy that up a little bit. There we are. And then making sure that the earring hook is the right way round. Open up the earring hook, hook that in, make sure it's the right way round, and close that up. There we go. So that's one, and I think it actually did work better that way round, from working from the top down. Surprisingly, we didn't have that much excess wire left. So let's do the next one. Wire wrap loop at the top. Take that off. Guide it. Wrap it round a couple of times. Trim off the excess wire. And just repeat the pattern. bead. It's just a slightly funny shape. Bring that round the back. This is why I'm using 0.6 wire, because with 0.8 it's really hard to do. Because it's a bit hard on the old hands. And then open that up, make sure it's facing the right way, and there you have your pair of matching earrings. So let me go off camera, off the overhead camera I should say, and we can take a little look at how the necklace looks sort of properly draped. So let's just lift that up a bit so that you can see the colours a bit better. So that is the little slider that we used. It's wrapped round here a couple of times, so obviously it wouldn't be that tight around the neck. And there you've got the 2 crystal beads at the bottom, and then you have got the earrings to match. So we'd love to know whether or not you think you might give this a go, whether or not possibly it's given you a little bit of inspiration to try something else perhaps. But before we go, I'm just going to double check I haven't missed anybody's comments. Ah, I now understand. Maxine's saying, have you got any slider beads in the thread? You mean the group thread? I'm sorry, I'm a bit slow tonight. Apologies. Only tonight. Some would say only tonight. Really, really pretty set. Thank you. Well, I hope you enjoyed. And I will work on the project for next week. But please do make sure that you share your makes in our beaders group at Beaders of Beads by Vachil. And don't forget, we give out awards every month, and one lucky person also gets a giveaway from me as well. Anyway, take care, enjoy the day, enjoy what's left of it and your weekend. Take care everyone. Bye.